Hey gang, these days in the D&D and Tabletop space, you hear about people depending on generative AI like ChatGPT for inspiration. And that's sad, because there's so many things to inspire us instead. And today, we're gonna be talking about video games. So don't use AI for inspiration. Use these 5 video games instead. If you're new here, hey gang, I'm Justin Galliani, one half of So You Want to Be a DM. Taylor and I want everyone to try running TTRPGs with their friends. We have a podcast called So You Want to Be a Dungeon Master. Check it out anywhere you listen to podcasts. Now, let's get into it. One of the most fulfilling parts about playing tabletop role-playing games like D&D is getting to use your creativity and imagination. Keyword, your creativity and imagination. You are unique, and so how your inspirations will be reflected through you will also be unique. It's been proven that people who depend on large language models like ChatGPT form less neural connectivity, they aren't curious or imaginative, or even happy with their work, according to researchers out of an MIT study on the subject. So let's look at the world around us. The idea that you have to ask a chatbot to give you ideas when there are so many ideas out here for the taking, it's ridiculous. But enough about that. First up, we're not wasting any time. We're jumping right into a video game known for bone-shattering violence, Mortal Kombat. This fighting game has incredible characters, exciting combat, and kick-ass powers. I mean, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Jax, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Raiden, Liu Kang, come on. Mortal Kombat can inspire us to use flavor with our character builds, both mechanically and through roleplay. Look at this. No matter which character I choose, there are massive similarities mechanically speaking. Sub-Zero has a projectile special ability. I'm sure we've seen this before, right? But a lot of Mortal Kombat characters have projectile special abilities. Here's Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, and even Noob Saibot. But each one feels totally unique. Not only do some have special effects like freezing someone just so you can give them the old uppercut, but they travel at different speeds. They look totally differently. They work in combination with other attacks differently. A wizard, a sorcerer, and a warlock could all learn the firebolt cantrip, but how does it look and feel different when each one casts that spell? If they were to look all the same, then does the source of magic even matter anymore? Now let's also briefly discuss the plot of Mortal Kombat. Generally, I mean, after 12 games and a bunch of spin-offs, like, remember Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero? Whoa, the 90s were wild. But in Mortal Kombat, there are multiple dimensions or planes, very similar to D&D in fact. But here, they have a fighting tournament every so often between competitors who represent each plane. I know we all watched the original Mortal Kombat movies, right? So we're intimately aware with Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage being recruited by this weird white dude who calls himself Raiden because they have to fight for Earthrealm. And then the evil sorcerer, Shang Tsung, has warriors fighting on behalf of Outworld, a dark hellish dimension. And if one dimension wins 10 tournaments in a row, then they can invade and take over the other dimensions. And bad news, gang, Outworld has already won 9 out of them. We've all seen that movie. We remember it. Okay. And the pressure is on. Listen, isn't that an awesome concept for a D&D adventure? And this video game has been out since 1992, the movie made in 1997, and the franchise is still going strong, adding new characters, abilities, and stories along the way. There's so much inspiration here, just waiting to be used. And when we haven't even gotten into Cabal and Kano, 2 incredible villains or sometimes anti-heroes depending on the moment, but we have to move on to video game number 2. Cyberpunk 2077. The video game may have come out in 2020, but it's based on a TTRPG called Cyberpunk by Mike Pondsmith from 1988. So obviously, TTRPGs can inspire video games. But what about a video game inspired by a TTRPG, then inspiring a TTRPG? I mean, as you can see here, Cyberpunk 2077 is an expansive setting with breathtaking visuals, energetic music, and a ton of fun waiting for you to uncover it. You get to start the game choosing which kind of backstory you want for your character, and that's going to affect how certain story elements go in the future. Imagine that. Sounds kind of like a D&D player choosing their background and creating a backstory. Imagine that. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 can inspire us in a ton of ways. But let's start with the thing that comes to mind first, for me at least, and that's vibes. In this context, I'm using vibes to stand in for the feelings you get. This can include tone or genre, but for me, vibes is more of an open category. It's less denotative and more connotative. Now, Night City, the main setting for this game, is full of vibes. They're so tangible and encompassing that it almost feels overwhelming at times. The attention to detail from the developers means that behind nearly every corner is another exciting element to build into the vibes of this world. The vibes are all-encompassing. There are signals of the cyberpunk setting everywhere you turn. The fashion, the food, the architecture, the advertisements, and of course, the story itself. I mean, the use of futuristic technology, including advanced weapons and also cybernetic enhancements. There's various quest givers, some you can trust, some you can't because they're likely to shoot you in the back. There's greedy corporations, private healthcare, and a massive wealth gap. God, does that sound familiar or what? But Cyberpunk 2077 can inspire us when we're trying to create a vibe for our setting, for our adventure. Think of Curse of Strahd, oozing with vibes. But when you look at the Lost Mine of Phandelver, I'm sorry, but unless the vibes are typical boring high fantasy classics, which is fine and all, it does feel two-dimensional. But it doesn't have to. You can add, edit, and twist any setting to fit your needs, to give you the vibes you want. But let's move on to our next video game. It's 2002. Avril Lavigne just dropped the song Complicated. And yeah, things were complicated in 2002. Star Wars Attack of the Clones came out. Hello there. 2002 is also when Ratchet Clank came out for the PlayStation 2. This sci-fi adventure stars Ratchet, a young Lombax guy who dreams of being a galactic ranger, and Clank, a defective warbot who helps out. The same studio that brought you Spyro hits us with a hilarious adventure of saving the galaxy from evil like CEOs and fascists. That's also familiar, unfortunately. And while there are parts of this game that are more like just an advanced Banjo-Kazooie with 3D platforming elements, it's the weapons and the combat that change the game. Literally, you know, because it's a video game. The amount of magic items that you could homebrew based on these weapons alone, it's insane. Just looking at the first game, because there's several sequels, the latest, A Rift Apart, is available for PS5, but even in the first installment of the franchise, look at these weapons. The Pyrocitor fires a stream of pyrocytic fluid, great for keeping touchy-feely enemies out of your personal space. The Proton Drum. Deploy a supermassive pseudo-atom that regularly emanates a wide disk of damaging subatomic energy. The Groovatron. This weapon creates an instant dance party, makes enemies vulnerable to attack. The Pixelizer. This close-range arm cannon fires a burst of energy that blasts enemies back in time, a time when resolution was a lot lower. Hydro Displacer. Move water from one place to the other. The Trespasser, a device used to hack into intense security doors. Now, how could you bring these things into a D&D game? Now, when you're homebrewing magic items for specifically a D&D game without modern technology, you have to get a little creative. Now, instead of relying on ChatGPT to regurgitate other people's ideas, just think for 1 second. Use these two things to help inform your homebrew. Number one, the system that you're using. For example, if you're using D&D, then think about balancing the rules, the mechanics, what already exists in D&D. The second thing is your setting. The world building, the tone, the lore, the NPCs, the physics of that world. But also, look at all of these gadgets from Ratchet Clank. Think about how these could add so much spice to a normal D&D encounter. Instead of rolling a simple Thieves' Tools check to solve this puzzle, you could do a puzzle. If you like puzzles. Some people don't like puzzles. But anyway, look at this hydro replacer gadget anyway. It's incredible. Moving water from, I mean, you do. Let's move on to the next video game. And we've heard of it. We've probably played it before. And we get the gist. PUBG might have really started the genre, but Fortnite made Battle Royale what it is. If you're unaware, Battle Royale is the style of game that Fortnite is known for. Basically, you're one player out of 100. You begin on this flying bus as you soar over the map. We see all kinds of notable locations and landmarks. And now you get to decide where to drop to begin your battle with 99 other competitors. But get this, you're completely unarmed. That's right. Part of the challenge is arming yourself with weapons, armor, and power-ups. And then, as the map gets smaller and smaller as the storm closes in on you, the goal? Be the last one standing. So, how can this inspire our next campaign? Well, let's look at the obvious first, the Battle Royale game style. I mean, what a fun and exciting mechanic to bring to a D&D campaign. Instead of having the party enter another arm wrestling or jousting competition, they can enter a Battle Royale. Instead of a flying bus, it's a dragon or an airship. Instead of arming yourself with shotguns and sniper rifles, you arm yourselves with a great axe, a set of plate mail, and a spell book. Maybe you could find power-ups that acted like feats, like Sentinel or Warcaster. Now let's look at some of the power-ups in Fortnite. This balloon pack, I mean, it seems so simple at first, and you'd assume that it's kind of dumb or lackluster. And it is a little dumb, but it's not lackluster, because if you thought you'd be wrong. Because not only is it super effective, but a ton of fun to use. Now what about those? Or that? Listen, I know Fortnite has some kind of quasi-story mode, but I've only ever played the Battle Royale mode. Specifically, I prefer to go solo, and I also do no building. For those who remember, you used to be able to only do the build mode where toddlers would construct skyscrapers around you and leave you in the dust like Carl from Up. But an ability or feat inspired by that fast building defensive technique is actually a really good idea. See? We did it again. Even by thinking about a part of Fortnite that I hate, I can still find inspiration for something to bring to my campaign. For the last one, let's get weird. Because we could talk about more obvious games like Destiny 2 and how freaking cool Gambit mode would be in D&D. Or we could get into Tekken, but we simply don't have the time. But what about the Jackbox Game series? Who amongst us hasn't ruined a family gathering because of their joke and quiplash? Just me? Cowards. Jackbox is a series of games within the game. Each iteration has 5 different games, mostly designed for multiplayer. Think of them like party games most of the time. Now, we have the aforementioned Quiplash, where you respond to prompts with your witty jokes. We have Fibbage, where you trick your friends with the best lie. And we've got one of my favorite Jackbox games of all time. Trivia Murder House 2. It's a simple premise. You're all trapped inside of a murder house with an evil host. In order to escape, you have to answer trivia correctly. Obviously, I'm very good at this, but nonetheless, there are unforeseen circumstances that will send you to one of the house's killing rooms. Here, we play a fun mini-game, emphasis on fun. Because what is RNG in a video game but rolling the digital dice, and who doesn't love digital dice? This video is sponsored by Digital Dice. God. Now, think of the encounters that this game can inspire. A dungeon filled with monsters who only attack if the players get the trivia questions wrong? But what would the trivia be about? Well, you could do questions for the players, break the fourth wall, ask questions like how much healing does a 2nd level cure wounds do? Or You can ask trivia about the party's adventure so far with questions like, who's the current leader of Yarder and what is their title? Which 2 deadly sins have you fought and defeated so far? Or which of you has been revivified the most? You can have an NPC like the ominous voice in the game asking the PCs these strange questions. A mysterious voice being projected through the arcane mouth spell. But how do they know all of this information and lore? Well, that's for you to decide. Use your brain. Because that's the point, right? That's what all of this has been about from the start. Your brain is unlike anyone else's brain. Not only the events and lived experiences of each and every one of us, but also the way we respond to it. Creativity is a vital part of responding to the world around us. It's the lens reflecting this Rorschach test we call life. Whoa. That was too deep, too deep. The important thing is this. Generative AI and LLM models like ChatGPT are bad for us. Even using Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo is a way better way to do research for ideas. There's so much out there to inspire us, so get creative, make it fun, and you won't go wrong. Thanks, gang, for watching, and click the subscribe button for more. Check out the link tree in the description to find us everywhere else at So You Want to Be a DM. See you next time, gang.